episode 6, Madeline went home as I kind of expected. Um, yeah, I think she is a great designer, but I think she definitely probably has to do some more work, just like as her growth as a designer, kind of work on some more things, just technically, and also tailor wise, and like just design wise. But I do think she has great potential. So it was sad to see her go home, but you know, she was self-taught and I admire her for coming onto this show because that is not easy to do. But I continue to wish her success and I hope that she has a great career going forward. Hopefully the show has given her some more exposure. And like she said, go buy some of her clothes so that she can make a living, which I thought was so funny. But let's get into this week's competition, you guys. Today they're going to be doing, I think they had to do a streetwear look that kind of spoke to them truly as designers that they had to do in a day. And it was quite interesting to see how everybody went about their own looks and stuff. Miss Joan, you know, she was the major topic, I would say. Like with Miss Joan's look, I feel like I am kind of seeing what Law Roach is saying about her kind of being like, you know, she kind of knows who she is as a designer. I don't know if there is room for growth per se, but she already has her identity as a designer, and I do think that that's amazing to have. But I do think that this show is also kind of for people who kind of don't know themselves not that they don't know themselves, but like they're still figuring out like what they do as designers, and they're trying to find their way, like Melania. So it's like you're more open or more receptive to that. But I do think it is good when you go into a show like this to have at least some form of identity. Like know exactly what you're pretty good at for sure. Like know your strengths and your weaknesses. But I see what Miss Joan was talking about. I was kind of hoping that you guys, I'm sure you guys saw Tiana Taylor's look at the Met Gala. Like when she was talking about, you know, going back to Harlem and doing streetwear, I was kind of thinking, will she go in that type of direction like how Tiana Taylor's look was at the Met Gala? But it did not go in that direction. So it was a little bit like disappointing. But I do think that Miss Jones should have been open to criticism, just like from some of the younger people. It did seem like she wasn't super receptive to that at all. And that was a bit unfortunate because I feel like maybe had she just been a little open and receptive to it, she probably would have been able to at least not been so on the bottom. She probably could have at least been safe. But let's go ahead and talk about who was the two top and who was the two bottoms. The two top looks was Melania and Antonio, which Melania definitely killed that challenge. She absolutely killed that challenge. Now, I personally really, really loved Ethan's look. Like, it was dramatic. I mean, it was a bit over the top for streetwear for sure. But like it was definitely streetwear. Like you would tell that it was streetwear. But I actually really loved Ethan's look. But Lania's look was perfectly on challenge and it was beautiful. It was well done. It was definitely her down to a T. And I'm just so happy that she has found herself as a designer. Like how amazing is that to be able to have found yourself as a designer on Project Runway. So I was just so proud of her. I was like, oh my god, yay! I'm definitely rooting for her. And you know, Jesus is worried about VJ, but I think you might need to be worried about Melania because she's the only designer that has won 2 challenges. Okay, but I was very, very proud of our girl Melania. She did the damn thing. She really, really did that, and I just loved it. Like that. Like that's not even my aesthetic, but like that's something that I would love to wear. But let's go ahead. The two top was obviously Melania and Antonio, and then the two bottom was Joan and Yuchen. Let's talk about Antonio's look. Now, I thought Christian was so hilarious when he was reacting to that doll. He was like, I don't know what that is, but I don't want to know about it. But yeah, that was hilarious. But I actually did like Antonio's look. It was not bad. For the most part, I thought he did a pretty good job with his look. But, you know, am I crazy? But, like, his look, his fabric was kind of like Jones. Like, it had that bold pattern and it kind of had that fringe thing on it. So, it was kind of like they had similar fabrics, but Jones was a bit louder. I think the thing that Antonio did better than Miss Jones is that he kind of made it a bit more street. Like he had the what is it? He had like the little bunny with the X on his eye. He had like the little bunny, and then on top of that, the pattern wasn't so bold because you had black, so you kind of had something to kind of neutralize like the really bold pattern. Was I like, oh my god, I absolutely love this look? No. Did I think that it was like top? I thought it was like safe. I thought it was good, but it was like my favorite look per se. But I do think that it definitely deserved to stay for sure. But it was a pretty interesting look. It was pretty bad. It wasn't that bad. It was pretty good, if I'm being honest. But I did like the little crop jacket. I did love the wide-legged pants. I love the fact that he brought the waist back in because it looked really big on the model when he actually had the fitting. And then I also really love the little band-aid top that Christian said. But it was a pretty nice look, and I loved how he styled it. Like the braids in the hair, I thought it really elevated the streetwear for sure. I probably would have said maybe let the bunny be all black per se, but I'm not really a pattern girl, so that's not really my thing. But I love when people know how to use pattern fabric and really make it work. So I felt like Antonio did a really good job. And I'm glad that he was able to tell Nina while he was there. And, you know, last week was disappointing, you know. It wasn't like I'm a fan of him as a designer, but he definitely is growing. So I do appreciate that. And the construction work was a lot better than it was last week. But yeah, that's my opinion on the bottom looks. I think we talked about the top two looks already. Yeah, we did. Oh, Yu-Chen. What was that? Like, what was that? Like, that was a bit disappointing. I know everybody said, oh, this should have been his thing. He should have wanted you know, the streetwear designer. But even the work that I have seen of him as a streetwear designer, I'm not really a fan of Yu-Chen's work. I think I've already said that before. But yeah, I wasn't a super huge fan of this one at all. I thought it was really, really bad. I mean, like he said, TikTok shop $20. Like, there was the cut up hoodie, the black pants. Just, I was not feeling the whole thing at all. I felt like, you know, I totally get it as a designer. Sometimes we really get into our heads, you know, and sometimes we can be our own worst enemy. And I think that Yu-Chen was his own worst enemy. I felt like he could have definitely pulled off, even though I'm not a fan of his work, I think he definitely could have pulled off something much better than what he did do before. But yeah, that was a hot mess. But I think Yu-Chen probably should go home, but I don't think they're going to send Yu-Chen home. I think they're probably going to send Miss Joan home. Unfortunately, just because, you know, Law did make a good point, and it's the same point that I made with Joseph. Like, you know who you are as a designer, you're confident in that, and there might not be room for growth. And I feel like that might be the same thing with Miss Joan. I feel like maybe there's not room for growth, but I do think that she will do really well because she's great at tailoring. Like, she's great at making amazing clothing. So I feel like she will go far regardless, with or without the show. But if they send Miss Joan home, I can see why. If they send Yu-Chen home, I will definitely understand why. Do I want Miss Joan to go home? No, because I feel like she is super talented, an amazing tailor, so amazing. I feel like she should stay. I feel like she deserves to stay. And I feel like maybe hopefully she'll be open to more criticism. Like, if I can say anything, just be open to more criticism. And, you know, don't be super stuck in your ways. I feel like you don't want to be super stuck in your ways. You want to have an identity, but you don't want to be so stuck in it. You want to be able to be open for, like, I don't know, something new, because maybe that can help you grow as a designer. You never know. So that would be my only thing. But let's go ahead and go down the different looks that they had. I think we'll go ahead and start with Jesus. Jesus's look, I actually really absolutely love the jacket. I love the skirt. I thought that was really amazing. I thought the top was a little bit cheap looking. I really wasn't a fan of the top, but I did love the jacket, and I'm glad that he definitely spruced it up, because when Christian said that, it was like London man going to drink coffee with his little umbrella. I'm like, yeah, that's what it was giving. So I'm glad that he, like, sexed it up a bit, and he really did a good job with that. But yeah, I was not a fan of the top. I feel like he should have done something different with the top. What did I'm trying to see what I rated that look. Because usually when I watch the shows, I will kind of rate the looks from like 1 to 10. I think I gave Jesus like a 6 out of 10. But yeah, the next look I would like to go ahead and talk about is VJ. VJ's look, like if Yu-Chen's look was here, VJ's look was probably like here. Like it wasn't that much different. Yes, yes, the construction was a lot better. It did fit really well, and it was a really nice look. But to me, it was kind of plain. You know, it wasn't like anything like amazing. It was pretty average. Like it wasn't horrible like Yu-Chen's, but it wasn't like amazing. It was kind of like, okay, next, you know. So I think I gave them. I'm not sure what VJ's pronouns are, so I'm just gonna say they. I think their outfit was probably, I gave it like a 5. I think I gave it a 5 or 5 out of 10. The next person I would like to go ahead and talk about is, we are talking about Antonio. Antonio's look, I rated it 8 out of 10. I thought his wasn't bad. You know, I liked his look, but it wasn't my favorite look of the evening. Ethan's look, I loved it. I gave it a 9 out of 10. I really, really love those panel pants. Like the fact that he even did all of that in a day. Insane. Like insane. Like he does really, really good work. Like really good work. I really love the bodysuit. I love the jacket, and I love the pants. Like I love the creativity of it, and I'm glad that he didn't do some crazy color because there's so much going on already, but it all kind of blends very well together. But Ethan's was definitely one of my favorite looks. Like it was quite amazing. Like stunning. Belania's look, 10 out of 10. Loved her outfit. So gorgeous. I love the sequins. I love the corset. I love the brown pants. I love the white top. Like it literally was her down to a T. Like she really, really, really found herself as a designer. I'm just like, oh my God, I'm so happy for her. But yeah, that was insane. Like she did a really good job, like 10 out of 10 across the board. And I'm glad she found herself as a designer. Like that's amazing when everything finally clicks for you. You're just like, this is what I thrive in. Like because she has such an amazing fashion sense. Like girl, I need to know where you get your earrings from. And if you make them yourselves, please send the link, because I just love Alania's style. Like you see her and you're just like, I want to be that type of girl. Like I love her fashion sense. Like she is amazing. So I love that she found herself in this challenge, and I loved her look. I felt like she deserved it. So Silent Killer, I think she's gonna go very far in this show. I really do. I have high hopes for her. Joan, we already talked about Miss Joan. You know, when I saw the look initially, I rated it 8 out of 10. But I do think that she probably could have done something different just to kind of make it more street, because I do see what La Roche is saying when he says it's a church look. Like, if you got rid of the cutouts, you really could go to church in that. And there's nothing wrong with being able to go to church in it, but it's a streetwear look. It's not like, you know, what would you call a church wear? Well, like Sunday best. That's what it is. Sunday best. Like it's not a Sunday best challenge. You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like, yeah. It's unfortunate, Miss Joan, because I really do love you, but I really feel like, you know, just be open to listening to some of the youth. There's nothing wrong with that, but that's why you're also here, is to also grow as a designer, you know, and also put yourself out there, you know. But I don't think there's anything wrong with what you do. I like, one of my favorite teachers at Savannah College of Art and Design was Professor Taylor. I think if you guys have been to that school, or you were there around the time that I was there, you know, Professor Stephanie Taylor, she was an amazing seamstress. Like, she really helped all of us, like, with our garments and everything, and she was so amazing, and she was really, really talented, you know, and she just did an amazing job with just, her tailoring skills were just superb, like really, really amazing. So I think that no matter what, like, if you're an amazing tailor, you'll always go far as a fashion designer. So I just feel like you're super talented, but just be open to, listening to kind of some of the youth about, streetwear and stuff. And it's not to say that, streetwear is for young people, because that's not true. It's also for older people as well. There's a lot of people that I follow online who are older who have really great streetwear sense, but I just feel like it was very much an older look. And I feel like maybe if she had, like, you could have still used the fabric, but maybe have like some type of neutral to kind of like even it out. Like Miss Joan has very expensive taste. I mean, the fabric was $150. Like, not to say streetwear isn't expensive, but I mean, paired with her fabric and paired with her tailoring, it was a very expensive, luxurious look. It wasn't streetwear. But I did see where she was coming from with it. But I felt like when they were trying to give her some advice, she probably should have just taken a step back just to listen. Just a little bit. So yeah. That one was unfortunate. But Yu Chen, God Yu Chen. I'm glad that he was apologetic, but I feel like they might keep Yu Chen and they might send home Miss Joan. That's what I'm thinking. But I think Yu Chen should go home. I feel like Miss Joan, like, I don't want to see her go. Like, she is a breast cancer survivor. She's finally been able to go on this show. But, at the end of the day, God is in control. And if it's meant for her to stay there longer, she will be there longer. If it's not meant to be, then it's not meant to be. So I think, I don't know, we'll see. But you guys comment down below. Let me know, who do you guys think is going to go home? Do you think Miss Jones going to go home, or do you think Yu Chen's going to go home? And let me know who was your favorite look and who was your worst look. And do you think that Antonio redeemed himself from last week? But I look forward to seeing you guys' little comments, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!